day, folks. Today I'm going to be reviewing and showing you how to play the game Kinfire Delve Scorn Stockade. And the object of the game is to fight through challenges in order to try to get to the master, who is Scorn, and try to take out Scorn. So let's check it out. So in the game there are two sets of playing cards, a blue one over here and a brown one over here. This one is Feign Long Stride. This is Naz of the Wind Strikes. Hopefully I got the pronunciations correct. And over here you have what is called the Well deck. Now what you're going to be trying to do is you're going to be fighting your way through this Well deck in order to get to the end of the Well deck. And then you're going to place these cards out, which is called the Gauntlet, surrounding the master, and in this case it is Scorn. Now there are 3 Scorn cards here. You're going to basically pick one and put it here in the middle. You also have what is called an Exhaust deck, and you're going to be drawing one of these cards anytime you want to go ahead and refill your hand. Since we are doing a 2-player game, you're going to go ahead and deal yourself 7 cards. So here's a card, and I'm going to go ahead and explain to you what it is. Right over here, this is the amount of hit points that this card is going to hit one of these characters with. Over here, an ability, this one says before this action, choose a seeker, which is you, to draw 2 cards. These cards may be kept or used to boost this action regardless of color. And most of these cards are going to have some kind of an ability over here. Now below, this number is going to represent if you are going to try to help your teammate take out one of these cards. This is how many hit points it will be able to attack with. Also, it's going to have a color. This one happens to have 2 colors that you can go ahead and use on those particular cards. Now, anytime you are attacking one of these cards, it has to be of the same color. So green can attack a green, for example. Now, white cards like this one, this can attack any of them. It is a wild. Some of these cards will have extra abilities, like this one will give you +3 against the puzzle if you're trying to help your opponent. This one also has a shield on there, and this is going to help you to take less damage. Now there's different types of cards in the game here. You have traps, puzzles, obstacles, and combat. And you also have an event card. So if you decide to play an event card, you're simply going to go ahead and just do what the event card says. So when you look at a card like this is the amount of hits that this card is going to need to take before it can get killed off. This is what you're going to win if you end up defeating the card. This is what you're going to get penalized with if you end up losing. Now this is typically going to be hit points, and you're going to start with 10 hit points. You have a 10-sided die here. So if this hits 0, you're going to be done. Also, there's going to be some abilities on these cards in some cases, so you'll just have to simply take a look at it and apply it as you are playing. Now this game does have some different symbols, and here is a list of them right here. Typical one you're going to see is this one. This means that you are going to be able to discard 5 cards from the well. So if this card was defeated, I could discard 5 of these. And then you're going to go ahead and refill the board. Now these exhaustion cards are going to be used when you would like to draw new cards. So these typically have negative effects. Like this one here, it says discarded. It says if regretful and traumatized are also in play, lose the game. So regretful and traumatized are in here. Here's regretful and here's traumatized. So if it turns out, in this case, if these 2 cards are already out, that would be an automatic game loss. So that's the way these exhaust cards work. Now on top of this, my player has an ability, but there's also what is called a lantern card. Now certain cards are going to be able to unlock this, and you'll flip it over, and you can use the lantern card as the card to attack with. These are typically powerful cards. Like this one has a power 5. This one says after this action, draw 4 cards. But it's going to start off closed. So this is the way the game works. First thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and attack somebody. And let's just say I decide I'm going to go ahead and attack Scorn's Vault with this white card. So that is going to hit him with 5 hit points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little counters over here. I'm going to put them on the card. My teammate will have a choice as to whether he wants to help me or not. So he'll look through his cards here, and he's got one card here that has a +2. So let's say he decides, he says, okay, I'm going to help you. I'm going to play a +2 on there since it matches the color. He'll discard that, and there'll be 2 more of these that will be added to the card. So right now they are at 7. So the third part is I'm going to roll these dice, and I'm going to be trying to roll either white, which is wild, or blue, which is the card that I'm trying to attack with. And I've rolled 2 blue. I am going to add 2 more to this, and that equals 9. So I'll have defeated this card. So this one says that if this card is completed, I can either return a exhaustion card, or I can discard 5 cards from this. So since I have no exhaust cards, I'll discard 5. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along with this card, and then I'm going to go ahead and replace this card like so. And that's basically the way you're going to be playing the game. Now, once you're able to exhaust this entire deck, you're going to go ahead and put out the Gauntlet cards. And the Gauntlet cards are pretty much going to work the same way. You're going to attack them the same as you did the other cards. Now, once you end up beating one of these cards, you're going to flip it over. And most of these cards are going to say the word vulnerable. So what this simply means is now you are going to be able to attack Scorn. Scorn won't be able to be attacked otherwise. So when you flip this over, this is going to tell you how strong he is. This is going to tell you all the abilities. This one says if fail 3 times, lose the game. So now, right now, any green cards will be able to hurt him. So once you're able to defeat Scorn, you will have won the game. Otherwise, the game is going to be lost once this reaches 0. If you're familiar with goal cards in games, these are games where you can receive points for reaching different goals in a game. Well, this game basically is a game that has a whole bunch of goal cards in there. You've got different creatures that you're going to be fighting and that you have to try to take out in order to get a reward and hopefully not a penalty. Now, this game can typically start out strong. You'll be fighting and beating a lot of these guys because you have a whole lot of cards in your hand and you also have a lot of hit points. But as those hit points start to dwindle and then the card hands start to dwindle, the game's going to start getting a lot more challenging. This is a game about balance. You're basically trying to use as few cards as possible and trying to take the least amount of hit points that you can in order to get through the game. If you play too many cards, you're going to have to end up drawing a card from the exhaust deck, which is going to have a negative effect. So there's going to be times you're going to have to do that. There's other times where you might want to try to help out your teammate, but you might have a limited amount of cards, and the card could have a stronger ability if it is your turn. So this is a game that does require some strategy, though it's not a difficult game to learn at all. You're going to play a card, you're going to give them some hit points, you're going to keep a track of all of the different effects that are going on in the game, and they can change, and you're going to roll the dice and you're going to try to help out your teammate, and that's pretty much the game. This is a challenging game. It kind of reminds me of a game where you're trying to reach a goal and you only have a certain amount of points to do it, and then you have these restrictions as far as not being able to draw cards. It's a good game. You can play this game by yourself. You can also add more players if you get more of the games from the Kinfire Delve series. So I would give this game a thumbs up for anybody who likes goal-driven card games where you're trying to fight different creatures and you're trying to ultimately kill off the master boss. It's a good little game, so check it out. Okay guys, that's my review. We'll catch you later. Keep on gaming.